Yes, I'm going to talk about mind-boggling marketing mayhem. What I mean by that is a lot of testing. I want to share with you actual physical results for email campaigns. So what works and what doesn't work. So the nice thing is you can't argue with me because it's all data backed, all right? And as it's quite a small room, I'm more than happy, just put your hand up. If you've got questions, it'd be really good just to debate them. And if you've tested stuff like this yourself, it would be really interesting to get your viewpoints as well. So, mental stuff, I've called it mental stuff because it was all in the mind. I'm going to also then drill into general tips and stuff that's happening in the industry that is either from the Spotler world of all the data that we have, or it might be from other sources out there that I thought was really interesting to share. And then I want to finish off, because I'm hoping that you're going to think that I've given you so much useful information, you'll let me tell you a little bit about Spotler and some of the cool bits that it can do. So that is the three things that we're going to cover. So the mental stuff all started with the idea that 20% of our decisions are conscious, 80% of them are subconscious. We do them without knowing. You know, it's like driving home. You can't remember that you actually took a left turn, but you did it. Yeah, so 80% of the stuff that we do, we just do it automatically. It's on autopilot mode. And it goes some way to explaining the Pepsi and the cola challenge of where when people are sat down and they're asked what do they prefer, they say Pepsi, but they go out and buy cola. Yeah, that 80-20%, it's just ingrained, we do it. I can't promise this level of success from the stats that I'm going to give you, but Google changed the colour of their blue, and they said they saw a £200 billion increase by a change of colour, yeah? Again, it's this 80-20% scenario of what we're ingrained with. They did the research on this, and this colour of blue was more soft. People seem to resonate with it, and they attributed 200 mil a year revenue increase. I'm not going to say you're going to get that by doing these bits and pieces, but hopefully I'm going to give you some food for thought. So we thought, what could we do in a marketing point of view? Could we actually look into somebody's mind and see what they like? So we thought, well, yeah, why not? We can strap them up and put them in an EEG machine. I'm not going to even pronounce it or try and pronounce because I'll never get it right. EEG machine. They don't look like this now. They're a little bit better. So, but what it is there's 14 sensors on the head, and it's measuring different parts of electrical currents, but how excited you are, how stressed you are, how engaged you are with what you're seeing. So we strapped these on our lovely customers. I call them our willing victims, and we showed them content. We did it for emails and web pages. I'm only going to concentrate on the emails for this particular case, but it was fascinating in what came out, and that's what I want to share with you. This is what actually it looks like, which is no use to anybody apart from Katie, who had to do the 700,000 data points of crunching the data and giving us the feedback. But that is what it looks like. As I said, 87 people, 700,000 data points over, I think it was 10 days, 14 companies, and we tested 9 email types. My caveat to this is we had to pick a topic that was relevant to everybody because we were in a business, and it could have been a marketing, it could be sales, it could be finance and so forth. So the topic was GDPR, okay? So it was boring, but everybody, when we did it, it was relevant to everybody. And so the metrics are stress, engagement, excitement, focus, relaxation. Believe it or not, this is what your mind is going through when it receives an email. How stressed it is, how engaged it is. It's not what you think, it's what your brain is actually doing, okay? So we tested preview headers versus non-preview header. Does everybody know what I mean by a preview header? Yeah? Anybody know what the most common preview header is? Click here to view in browser. Really compelling, eh? Yeah, let's stop that as marketers. Give yourself a slap round the face if you do it next time. We can optimize the preview header. Much more compelling, all right? We also did, I couldn't get it moving on this one, but we did static images versus moving images, GIFs in emails, yeah? So will somebody respond better to a moving image over a static image? We also tested short versus long form copy. Short was generally no more than 1 or 2 sentences. Long, as you can see, was longer. You had to scroll down. And we tested layout. So we tested whether Outlook worked well, whether zigzag, what we call zigzag is left, right image, image, right, left, so it's alternating. And the one that most marketers probably use for a single call to action is a pyramid. So the image at the top, bit of text, down to a call to action, okay? And these were the kind of general results from it. So we also asked people in a survey what they recalled the most. So most people said they recalled the GIF. GIF, as I was told it's pronounced. Yeah, 36% of the time. So that's the one that they said they remembered, which is interesting, followed by zigzag, followed by Outlook, okay? But the one that completed the call to action, and the one that was highest for engagement, interest, focus, and excitement, I'm going to have a drum roll. Outlook, yeah? So the one that they said they didn't recall the most, but the one that actually performed the best. Yeah, this 80-20 thing. The thing that you do every day in any email capacity, whether it's B2C or B2B, is you engage with those emails. So that's interesting.
Quick question for you. Just because you said we can ask questions.
Yeah, go for it.
When you say Outlook, are you saying like because you send plain text emails throughout to Outlook recipients, or?
I say Outlook style because it's like a normal email. And in B2B, Outlook's a normal client, but it could be Gmail, but it is, in essence, plain text. Technically not plain text because it's got links in it. It's rich text. But it looks like a normal email that you would send a colleague, anyone that you were doing yourself. Yeah? So this one performed the best on 4 out of the 6 metrics. So that was really interesting. And
the metrics, sorry, but was it the completion or these 6 metrics?
it was these 6 metrics of what was going on in the mind, but also it was the one that they did the actual actions on. Is what? Yes, yeah. So the interesting thing is what they recalled to what they actually did the actions on was completely different. But the 6 metrics itself, as you can see here, overall Outlook. 1 out. We'll drill into it a little bit more because we asked people to give us some of their information, their gender, their seniority, their job titles. So even female and male, again, it 1 out generally. I'm going through these fast. I've got a lot of slides because I want to share with you a lot of information. You can get a copy of these slides. Marketing versus non-marketing, it was the easiest one for us to split because our customers are generally marketeers, so we had a lot of marketeers taking this test. Even directors, execs, managers, the only group that threw the stats out were interns. Yeah. So give me 10 years if I'm presenting this again, the stats might be completely different. But that was the only one. Either that, or they'll be beaten down like the rest of us and follow suit, and it'll be back to they'll go into the execs and managers and the directors. Yeah. It was only the interns that seemed to like long texts. They liked GIFs and default click here to view in browsers. It's just very weird. So it was the only anomaly from Outlook winning out over a general timeline. So that was interesting. So I thought, actually, with that in mind, we started testing pieces, not just Outlook. So I wanted to share with you a load of hints and tips, let's call it, of what you can try. So hopefully I've already persuaded you that you can save thousands of pounds on email design. Yeah. I heard somebody in I think I was just in the enterprise thing, we were saying that some people take weeks to create an email campaign because they're testing it over different inboxes, different rendering devices. So you can send me half of that money now. And now I'm going to hopefully help you get those emails engaged with a little bit more. So I have the luxury of millions and millions of emails that I can look at in my spare time that I've not got. But Spotler sends millions of emails, so I can see subject lines, I can see click-through rates and so forth. We also internally do something, has everybody heard of the Great British Bake Off? Yeah, so we've ripped that off on the Great British Split Test. So we generally, for 9 months of the year, and this is UK-focused data, I'll probably have to admit, it's the split testing stuff. But we do about 9 months worth of split testing of really random stuff. So so much so my team question my sanity sometimes when I just say, yeah, send it out without a subject line. Go on, go for it. So I've got stats on that as well. But what I wanted to start off with is probably to make you depressed, and then I'll pick you back up. Because as marketeers, what are the main email marketeers, let's say, what are the main metrics that we look at? Opens and clicks, yeah? If I told you that about a quarter of all your opens are false opens, would that surprise you? Would it worry you? Yeah, absolutely, because it's the only figure that makes you look any good, isn't it? It's the only double-digit figure. Otherwise, you're at a 2% click-through rate, or if you're doing B2B lead gen, sub 1%. Yeah. And auto-clicks. Anybody worry about bots? Yeah. Do you think you've got bots in your campaigns? Yeah. Statistically, you should. This is our world data stats. 20% of your campaigns will have bots in. One of the easiest ways to see it is just look at Google Analytics. You can see the campaign, you'll see 100% bounce rate, and the network will probably be Palo Alto in America. So you can see that the bot clickers are there if you don't believe the ESP that you're sending it through. So I would argue in the B2B world, opens are rubbish, clicks are all right. If you can get more opens and more clicks, well, if you want more opens, just send to Apple devices. So if you get bonus or commission on your open rates, if that's what you're targeted on, there's a great tip for you there. Just send to Gmail and IO devices, yeah. But we should change the narrative and concentrate on what happens post-click, what's on the website. As marketeers, generally in the B2B world, we're not targeted on opens and clicks, we're targeted on the leads that come in, the MQLs, SQLs, and how they go through the funnel. So I just wanted to depress you a little bit with that. So an email comes in. We have, some say 2 seconds, some say 5 seconds before you decide to delete it. We make our mind up based on who it's from, the subject line and the preview header. I've got layout down there, but you don't make your mind up on that until you've actually opened it, yeah? But we'll come to layout. So I want to concentrate on who it's from. And there are so many stats out there that say sending from an individual name rather than the brand name increases opens. So you'll notice I'm using opens on here as a benchmark. I wouldn't use opens at all for anything else other than saying that there's an increase in something, okay? So sending from brand names, individuals generally perform better. We've got stats that back that up. There are stats out there that back that up. But what you're going to get from this is test your own data, okay? You can't guarantee this will work on anything. But generally, mid-sized companies, if I send something as Spotler, nobody's going to care. Sorry, guys. But in all honesty, you might not have heard of us. I'm not Nike. I'm not Adidas or anything like that where I've got that brand awareness. Sending as Spotler, but sending as Simon as a young, when we're young, we're conditioned to engage with individuals. Yeah? So give it a go. One caveat, if you make names up, Google them first. Because we've made names up before and they've been incarcerated or they've done some very dodgy stuff. So you don't want to be associated with that. This is one of them. So again, what I said, I don't say it flippantly. This is click-through rate. Yeah? This is Oliver Ashwell. And this is a more international flavour, Rodrigo. And that's a difference in clicks, therefore loads more leads. Get the idea? Very easy to test in email as well. Anybody like Aladdin? So the other thing I really like doing in email is actually trying something different. So there's so give or take. I'll show you the next one in a second. I don't mind using Aladdin because I didn't think Disney would come after me. But so we sell products, and this was a case of we were trying to sell our IP lookup tool. So a whole new world is a whole new world of leads. But my point on this Outlook style, we get responses. This is somebody replying back saying they were interested. Oh no, that was it. Saying that they love Disney. It's not the time at the moment, but it's created that connection for us to nurture, and they've become a customer. Yeah. Rather than just saying, do you want to see some IP lookup tools? The average non-engagement in a UK database is about 98%. I'll put that slightly differently. 98% of my database don't care what I have to say. Yeah. So we have to do something different. Again, the average inbox gets about 100 to 150 emails a day. We've got to stand out. I know you're not going to stand out until they get through, but this was just some other ideas. So Aladdin. This was one where I was a bit cautious. I didn't want Tom Cruise to sue us, so I nicked Penelope Cruz's surname. Everybody seen A Few Good Men? You can't handle the truth, I want the truth. Exactly. So a bit like open and clicks are rubbish. We did the same kind of thing. Tom Cruise, military lawyer, and we get somebody responding back around FPS. The other good thing about the Outlook style is it encourages people to reply. So gone are the days where you go into junk because you use the word free, if that makes sense. It's all around all around reputation, IT reputation engagement. So you do want people replying to your newsletters, your campaigns. Okay, so this guy replied back about Deakin records, so that was beyond me, so I passed it on, and again, became a customer. I thought I'd bring this up. I don't know whether this is a UK thing at the moment, but it's getting even harder in B2B now. Everything's tagged as external. So yeah, it's like, Simon, this person, don't speak to them. It's got to be really compelling in that from and the subject line now, because it's just that extra layer to get over. Right, subject lines. I think probably the subject lines are the most important. If you were to pick one of them, that's the one that I would encourage you to concentrate on. It's the one that I've got a load more stats on. So let's go through it. What we generally do is salesy or structural. Will be, it is, what month is it? Newsletter, yes, September newsletter. There we go. Perfect subject line. Yeah? Again, look at your junk and your other folder and see how many newsletter that you've got in there that you ignore. Or we go salesy. Offer must end Friday. Now, I'll let you in a secret. The offer never ends on Friday. Okay? Never ends. Take a trial of X today. Not bad, but it'd be really good if you could tell me what that trial is. Yeah? Free webinar next Tuesday. Brilliant. I'm invited to so many damn webinars. What is it? Yeah, do you get the idea? Yeah? We do so, as marketeers, we can be so blinded and just want to get it out the door. So, this is another one of, I say my pet hates. Again, there's data behind most of these things. As marketeers, we seem to wear two hats. When we send emails out, it's like, oh, what's in it for us as marketeers? What can we do? We want you to come and have a look at our stuff. Yeah, what's in it for me? Whereas actually, nobody cares. You only care what's in it for you. Yeah. Hopefully you've only come here today because you think you might get something useful out of this session. Yeah, and that's literally it. So if I was to tell you the most important thing, would you want to know it? Yes. No? Geordie, don't ruin it for me. It's interesting. Putting the word most in a subject line is increasing is increasing open rates. Because everyone wants to know what's the most characters you can put in a subject line. What's the most you can do as something? Again, these all change. You see different peaks and troughs, but most. That part that I wanted to get to of what's in it for you. There's so many stats out there that I like doing Gap here because it really annoyed me. So Gap was good because they did all the U's, but then they do the bloody click here. View in browser. How compelling is that? Really annoyed me. But putting you, this is for you, just putting the word you in is seeing an increase in opens. Okay, this was my inbox again. You can see what I like doing: gambling, fishing. It's got the word you in it, yeah? And it's the ones that I engage with, which I wanted to pull out. B2B, we've got so much data, but one thing that we can really utilize is the function. Yeah, I'm in marketing. So therefore, tips for a CMO survival, why B2B marketers struggle to convert leads. Using that function makes it seem it's more relevant for me. Does that make sense? Rather than just saying, need more leads. I know I'm a marketer, I need to get more leads. Okay, so it's making it as personal as possible and trying to stand out in that inbox. Remember, 150 emails. Secrets doing the rounds. Just put in the words, everybody loves a secret. Yeah. They do, don't they? Putting the word secret in at the moment is seeing an increase in opens. Black Friday, I can't imagine there's going to be even more. Get your secret Black Friday. Yeah. And these are some words. Again, this bit was from World Data. It's a great source of bits of information, but I'm going to let you get these later on. But there's just some words that you can try in your next campaigns. Right, let's carry on. Emojis. Who loves an emoji? Yeah, why don't we use them in B2B? Can't, can you? It's not allowed. Absolutely not. You can use emojis. Use them to your heart's content as well, because in the B2B world, we don't use them, but we want to stand out in that inbox. So what I'm suggesting here is I wouldn't do what I'm suggesting in every single campaign. I wouldn't send an email from Tom Cruise every day or from Aladdin every day. But to that 98% of non-engagement, I need to do something different because they're not engaging. Yeah, I've got to try and get a reaction. I like this one. This is Pizza Hut. So all emojis. And you can do it in B2B. I've done it myself and it works. Yeah, you get a peak in interest in the emails that come through. All right, so emojis. I've also started seeing again, so this is happening. I'm seeing a load more emojis in the preview header. Okay, so rather than the subject line itself, they're seeing to put it in the preview header of the actual email itself, which is interesting. I haven't any tests on that at the moment. But this is an interesting stat, and this one I'm a little bit cautious on. Yeah, you're laughing because you know what the answer is, don't you? Yeah. So fruit, most people don't use it for fruit purposes, though. You all know what it's used for, don't you? Yeah, exactly. So just be careful using some emojis. Yeah. Somebody might open it thinking, actually, I want some of that. And they're not getting what you think they want. Okay? Useful emojis. Right, so this is a test that we've done. Have you ever tried sending an email about a subject line? Give it a go. I can guarantee you'll get people emailing you back saying you didn't put a subject line in there. And I can guarantee in my world that would be brilliant because I've just got some good engagement. Reputation has just gone up and salespeople have some people to respond to. I just blame Sainab every time. Yeah? Okay, but that's the click-through rate difference. All I'm after in a lead gen B2B capacity is getting more traffic to my websites. I'm hoping I'm not destroying the brand. I don't think I am, because people are engaging. There's some stuff that I certainly wouldn't do. I wouldn't swear and I wouldn't do certain stuff, but I'd love a typo as well. Nobody seems to want typos.
Did you try to send an email with insert your name in bracket?
Do you know what? Yes, because do you know why? You get people saying, personalization's gone wrong. Again, I blame Sainab and say, but we'd love to show you X, Y, and Z. Sorry, it was a human error, not a software error, because you never blame the software. But no, in some case, but I wouldn't do it every time. Does that make sense? Just like I wouldn't send without a subject line every time, but I would do it as a one-off just to pique the interest of that data set. Yeah? I'd probably be more cautious myself of doing that one, though, because of the personalization. Have you ever tried sending... Have you ever sent an email saying, don't open this email? Yeah, exactly. Again, you can't do it every time, but they work really well. All right. Do you want to know my most 10 annoying people?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody... So I'll come to you in a second. Everybody wants to know numbers. If you put numbers in emails, they work as well. Top 5 subject lines you can use today. The top 10 people I find most annoying. Yeah? Works really well. Sorry, there was a hand up.
Has there been any test for Nay, Oliver Ashwell from Spotler?
So there has. So I haven't done loads of those, but I have seen people where, because you have companies like, God, I can't not send it from Spotler. It's got to have the brand name in, hasn't it? Jesus Christ. Blasphemy if we don't. So you do get people that will be Simon Moss from Spotler or Simon at Spotler, or some people will put those lovely little dashes straight down the middle. And I don't have enough stats on that of whether it works. All I have stats on is when you use an individual's name, it generally performs better than not. Yeah, put an ember in your subject line. Works wonders. I left this up as well because you see a lot of dashes nowadays. So in my old days, that was truncation. Yeah? Your subject line's too long, so it's been truncated. Not anymore. The likes of Amazon have worked out. If you put dash in there, it creates suspense, intrigue. Oh, what am I missing? Yeah? It's not been truncated. They're doing it on purpose. And they're only doing it for a reason. And that reason is because they get a load more conversions and a load more sales. I'm going to go a bit faster. This is my favourite one. Yeah, good. You're all on the same page as me. That either tells you something about me or it doesn't, but it caught my attention. Right. Putting VS in the subject line. We always love a bit of a fight. Yeah, Spotler versus MailChimp. Come on. X versus X. VS is increasing Opens. I'm going to go fast because you get the idea. This is a lovely one. Oh no, oops. Do you see many of these? Yeah. They haven't made a mistake. Promise you they haven't made a mistake. They've just done it because they've seen it gets more engagement. Oops. Just putting it in is getting an increased open rate, even though they've not made a mistake. Because you've got 150 emails. Yeah, you're not going to go back to that one that was sent 2 hours ago. If you're anything like me, you've got 5,000 emails unread in your inbox. If you're anything like Zainab, they're all deleted. Yeah, keeps a tidy inbox. Right, that was subject lines. I also get told that we're sending too many emails or too few. I would say we don't send enough. There are some compelling stats out there that say in the B2B world, is that B2B? Yeah, an average of 3.5 a week is ideal to get the 20% open rates. In the B2C world, I know it's a B2B talk, but B2C is about 4. Yeah, let that sink in. 4 emails a week. I get some of my team complaining to me, and I say my team, not the marketing team, that we're sending 1 email a week is too much. Okay, again, if you only send 1 email a week, you've only got 1 chance to do something, and you've only got 1 chance to increase your reputation and your sending domain. Yeah? I know what side I'm going on.
Presumably that's where you have to balance like triggered emails, and we can use that.
Absolutely, yeah. So we have I say a balance. We have triggered emails. So if somebody triggers something, it just goes. But we also do weekly emails. So I'd probably say if anybody's unlucky in my world, they'd probably get 5 or 6 emails in a week, depending on what they automatically trigger. Or it could deem them lucky. But always, again, what I'm suggesting is you'll keep an eye on your unsubscribe rate and your complaint rate and so forth. But generally, a few emails a week is a good thing.
Are you doing resend to non-openers? Like, what are you segmented out?
No, I don't, because if I told you a second ago, opens doesn't mean they've opened it. Does everybody know what an open rate is? Sorry, I should have come with that. Do we know what an open rate is? It's not actually somebody opening an email. Oh, yeah. It doesn't mean someone's opened an email. It's an image download. A pixel, a 1x1 hidden pixel, or a beacon, I think they like to call it. A click can do it, but it still downloads the image from a click. But absolutely. So if I on my laptop, 0 opens because I don't download the images. I might click every now and again. On my iPhone, 100% open rate. Yeah. So in my world, in my marketing, we don't do campaigns on opened and click. So we generally do campaigns based on post-click behavior. Yeah. If they didn't open, they're in the next campaign anyway, rather than sending the same campaign again. But absolutely, you can do it. I would recommend just changing the subject line, because if it didn't open the first time, possibly in click and engage, then you can hopefully reuse the content, but maybe just change the subject line or the sender. As humans, we want to avoid pain rather than gain. Yeah, and what I mean by that is 7 emails you should never send rather than 7 emails you should send. Yeah, don't pay an extra £300 rather than save £300. Does that make sense? Pain rather than gain. I never really show competitors sometimes, but I like Kissmetrics. They did a pain and a gain. Yeah, so why your conversions suck and how to fix it. So they merged the two together quite nicely. They did update the slides, I just didn't take one out. I just thought I'd start on registrations as well, because everybody's doing webinars at the moment, aren't they? There's so many webinars, and this is what the registrations look like. This is what the webinar looks like after it's finished. The reason I bring that up is there's some stats that we've seen out there, and we've started doing it ourselves, but people don't, funnily enough, they don't send a reminder out an hour before, a day before, or a week before. Yeah, they might just send it at one touch point. So the other thing is what we've noticed is even if you promote something if a webinar is an hour, but if you promote it as 30 minutes, it generally gets more registrations. People don't mind spending longer on a webinar, but they don't want to know that it's actually going to take an hour, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't say promote it for 30 minutes and it's a 5-hour webinar, because that's a bit misleading. But going over to 45 minutes or something when you promote it for a half an hour seems to be a really good top. We always don't send an email on a Friday. Why would you want to send an email on a Friday when it's really sunny and everybody's here listening to the talk? There are some really good stats out there at the moment saying send an email on a Friday. Again, that 150 in your inbox, if people aren't sending on a Friday, then I recommend you just go in on the Friday. You've only got 70 to compete with rather than 150, yeah? I'll let you read those bits at your own leisure. I thought I'd also leave you with best days. So there's a great content calendar. I think the source probably might be World Data again is such. But I thought this is interesting in the B2B world, and this is almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, in email marketing, when we send it is when most clicks are going to be. Yeah, and we all think that Tuesday, Wednesdays and Thursdays are good to send. So therefore, when stats come out, you can see Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays are the ones that come up. So I definitely, again, recommend you testing it. B2C, if there are any B2C in here, you can see it's a bit more varied, and you can definitely get away with weekends and so forth of days to send. Right.
Sorry, is good definition.
Oh, sorry. Green is good. Grey is average performance. Red is just don't do it. Or try it and see if it works for you.
Performances, post-click behavior, right?
No, opens. Yeah, sorry, opens. Yeah, no. Sorry. I keep changing between the two. This one's on opens. Yeah. Right, before I finish, I just wanted to leave you with the best ever template. And then I'll let you come to the stand later, and then everybody can tell you about Spotler. So I won't do the Spotler bit. Best ever template. So we did it for 3 years in a row. This was 2019. So an international name, a full name, but if you can't bear not to have the company name in there, put the company name in. And we notice we get less abuse from females. If it's a female name, sorry. So they don't tell you to bugger off as much or get lost, okay? Subject line, emoji short, make sure there's a preview header. If you're brave enough, do a no subject or a typo. We tried font, but I must say it's probably the one that we did is the weakest stats that we've got. We did a Arial and Times New Roman, so sans and sans serif. It worked out literally 50-50, so give or take. 3 links seem to be good, but they're not the same link, and it certainly doesn't say click here. Yeah, you would never have click here on a PPC ad, would you? But yet, why do we do it in emails? Shouldn't. No images. But if you do have images, you can personalize images. So as marketers, let's do something. We'll personalize them. Before 9 a.m. or after 6 p.m. was working well when we were testing that. You'll get the same gist as this, but test your emails. So many things you can do as marketeers. We just do the same thing and expect a better outcome, which I think is a definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. Yeah, it's like the Homer Simpson when he gets the beers on the plug or whatever it is and it gets executed. Yeah, exactly. So test. The slides will have a lot more. Thank you for your time, and I hope you've got something out of it.